Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Lauren Reehl, and with me tonight is Josh Malkiewicz, the General Manager of Stage West. Welcome onto our show. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your year, major?
Yeah, I'm a senior this year studying cybersecurity.
That's very exciting. And where you're from? Are you from PA, outside of PA?
I'm from Maryland, just outside of Annapolis.
Okay,
so it's about a 3-hour drive from here.
Yeah, you're not too far. So you're the General Manager of Stage West, that's why you're here today. And I just wanted to know, how did you get started? So were you a customer prior to coming to Stage West?
Yeah, so Stage West is a fairly new venue on campus in Penn State. And my freshman year syllabus week, my roommate and I were looking for somewhere to go. We were brand new, just like most kids are here. We had no idea what to do, and I pretty much just went online and looked up like 18-plus places or somewhere we could go. It came up, and we went there one night. It was a good time for us. I mean, it was a great time for being just 18. You know, there's not many options for us to go out or go places at the time, and then we kept going kind of week after that. They kind of sucked us in from the first time. So, yeah, I was a customer before I started working there.
So was that what led you ultimately to start working there, because you had such a great time with your first few experiences?
Yeah, in a way, a lot of the events were ticketed, so my roommate and I were spending money to go there. And one night on Instagram, they had posted an ad that they were hiring, and I jokingly, I was like, why don't we work there? You know, we're always going there. Might as well do the same thing, but make a little bit of money. And he said yes, and I figured it'd be just something kind of part-time to make some extra money there, and, it turned out to be much bigger than that.
Yeah, here you are today, pretty much running the place.
Yep.
So I'm guessing that's not exactly where you started at the very beginning,
No.
though. What were those beginning positions for you?
Yeah, so I started out working security, and then everything kind of fell into place for me after that. Mm-hmm. The person ahead of me, who was the head of security, he kind of left at a convenient time, and they needed somebody to fill that. And I was just always there. I worked every day I could, all the time. I was in there early if they needed me. I was kind of just always there, so I was, I guess, the best candidate at the time for that. And so I joined that, and then became the head of security. And then after that, the manager at that time was moving on to something of his own business, and they needed somebody new for that. And I had been working there for 2 years now, so I became manager just last year. And I just knew how everything worked security-wise. And then managing everything else. At the time, I was kind of learning how to do everything the guy before me was. And, when he left and they needed somebody new, I kind of jumped at that opportunity just to see how it was. I figured I was doing all the same things, working the same hours. It would be a little more responsibility, but I didn't think it was too much to handle.
Yeah, you were definitely qualified by that point, for sure. And you said you aren't from in-state, so did you work at all over the summer? Did you come up for Arts Fest, or do you know what business is like over the summer when all the students have gone home?
Yeah, so students are kind of the core of our events because we're an event venue, so we're only open when we have events. And so without the students, it makes that pretty hard. So over the summer, we pretty much closed down completely. We have a few shows for like locals, more like country shows and just other stuff if it has an appeal to the local state college population, but like this past summer, I think we had 3 different events, one each month, and then obviously Arts Fest. But other than that, we closed down completely for the 3 months of summer, and then open back up just for the fall and spring semesters.
Are your events over Arts Fest, are they 18 plus, 21 plus, or
it's a mix of both. It really depends on the type of event we're trying to give out and what we want. I think for Arts Fest, we typically did do 2 18-plus events just to give everyone coming to campus an opportunity, because it's hard to go somewhere if you're not 21 or you can't go, you don't have anywhere to go. We kind of like to give everybody an opportunity to at least have something, even if it's one event here and there.
Yeah, so how do you prepare for the amount of students who come back to campus after having those slow summer months?
Yeah, it's actually kind of a pain. We have to close the whole place down, which is, I'll save you the trouble, but it's just turning everything off, moving stuff down to the basement, kind of just making sure nothing goes bad, nothing is still running that shouldn't. It's a bit of a process, and I found out over the summer that there were some stuff I may have missed, so I had to come back and do that. So that's a big thing, and then the bigger pain is coming back for Arts Fest, because then I have to reopen and set everything back up, and then Arts Fest is just one weekend, so then Sunday before I go home, I have to close everything back down just like it did at the beginning of the summer, and then when we come back to school, it's pretty much the same thing. I just have to reopen, buy a bunch of stuff to open up and get everything ready for that. So it's a bit of a process. It's kind of lengthy, but I got a great team that helps me out, and very ambitious, very very helpful. That they keep me focused and help out where they need to.
That's awesome. And so you do a bunch of events. So who are some of the biggest artists that you've brought in to perform?
Yeah, so we've had a lot of big artists from a variety of fields of life. We had an after party with A Boogie from his show at the Bryce Jordan Center. That was a big hit. We sold that out. We had a big DJ, Xander Pohl, recently last semester. The semester before that, we had Two Friends, which is a big DJ. And we had a bunch of other DJs that are also large. It just depends what artists you listen to. We had Mal P. He's huge now. He does a lot of tours for that. We had Nitty Gritty. For the people who are in love with Barstool, we had Brianna Chicken Fry. That was a big event. So we've had a couple, and we have a lot more coming soon. So it's exciting. It's great to work with a lot of big people.
And what are your week-to-week shows look like?
Yeah, our week-to-week shows change. We try to stay ahead on scheduling as much as we can to put things out so people know. But State College is just a very changing environment. If we win a football game, the environment changes, whereas if we lose, the environment's way different. So yeah, every week is something new. We kind of try to schedule and put out events based on the environment on campus. We try to stay current with things that are happening and look for things. But week to week, usually Thursdays, we have like a theme event. So that's more of our 18+ event. So we do stuff like Bollywood, Latin night, country night. There's a plethora of different events we do for 18+ then. And then Fridays and Saturdays, it changes. For example, we have football in the fall. We don't have football in the spring. So our Fridays and Saturdays change with that. Fridays, we've been doing kind of like these like pregame events. So like the day before the game, they go and they get to do something. And then Saturday, we usually have after parties for the home games.
Yeah, of course.
Those are 21+ events, but yeah.
That's awesome. Well, if anyone's interested in attending, you can find them on social media. But Josh, thank you so much for coming into PSN tonight and telling us a little bit more about your experience with Stage West.
Thank you.
Now stay tuned, because coming up next, Antonia and Alicia will bring the latest news from across the nation.